So, welcome to this week's Love for Humanity free event. I'm Kim Jansen, and I'm the founder of Love for Humanity, and we have an amazing group of people who work with us through Love for Humanity to work with ourselves, and it's all about working on ourselves and the external world being a representation of us. And that's what our topic is today. Inside out. So it's all about how the external world actually represents what's going on within us. That's quite a controversial topic because some people may take the concept maybe what I might call the wrong way. I know there's no right or wrong, good or bad, but there's so much we can learn, and I think if we can use it as a learning tool rather than a concept that is holding us back. And I do know when I did receive this concept and I started adopting it in my own life, and I will give you some really cool examples. I did find that I was able to transcend certain situations and experiences, people, all that sort of thing through this concept. So it's definitely here as a concept to help us. But I will be honest and say it may trigger a few things here. Hello, Coco, you want to jump down? It may trigger a few things around the concept of blame or responsibility. But I kind of look at it a little bit differently in another sense. So it was, and I will just tell you a little bit of a story around, where this concept, first came through for me and how we can definitely use it in our day-to-day life. So I remember I was, having issues in the financial area, and what happened is in that let me just make sure that we're live. I think we are. In that, as soon as I received the message that, that's fine. As soon as I received the message that it was a learning for me, it was something that I could, hi Kristen, it was something that I could learn about myself. It was this money situation that I was seeing as a pattern, and especially patterns. If you're so sick of patterns, I remember exactly the time, I remember exactly the place where I received, and I was driving. Driving is a great way to receive messages. I remember receiving this message that just said, go within and find out where this external issue is going on within you. And as soon as I did that, I felt a sense of relief, and I was like, wow, what is that feeling? Why is that there? And of course, our feelings are our guides and help us on this journey. And I remember thinking, wow, I feel so different, even just knowing that this external situation is represented from my internal reality. And I thought, well, this is great, because I can then just go in and find out what's going on within me to affect, and I'll just call the word affect, not create, that is affecting this external reality. And then it helps you to go down this rabbit hole of experiences within yourself to see where the links are to your current situation, especially if they're patterns, to things that are going on within you. And I'll give you some examples. So pretty much this inside out concept, and I thought inside out was kind of a cool title, because we have a movie called Inside Out, and it's based around, thoughts and feelings and all that sort of thing. And that's exactly how this works as well. The inside out concept is that what's going on within you, those thoughts and feelings, are actually showing up on the external. And a lot of us are afraid of our thoughts and feelings because they may not necessarily be great. And that's where this even more so is a representation of, something that we do need to be aware of what these thoughts and feelings are. You can no longer push them down. You can no longer pretend that they're not happening, because if these thoughts and feelings you have within yourself are unrecognized and unacknowledged, don't be surprised if something in the external world is showing you that you need to deal with these. And that's exactly what it's all about, and that's all it is, really. I don't like using the word create. You're creating it, because that could be a concept that could be misconstrued. I think really at the end of the day, I like to think of it as we're affecting each other, and everything is affecting each other. So if you question like why things are happening, what we can do about them, and you want to bring in a bit more elements of control, but not really control, but knowing how to have more of an impact on what's going on in the external world and what you can do about it, you can definitely use this concept. I call it the inside out theory. It's kind of a cool theory, but it's something that you can use in every day with everything. And I'll go through the process with you as to how you can use it. So the universe pretty much just matches energy with energy. The universe really doesn't do much else other than align things with things. I say things, but align energy with energy. So if you come from that basis of energy matching, and that the universe is responsible for that. So if you say to yourself, well, okay, so if I want this in my external world, the first thing you will technically go for is, okay, what do I need to have in the external world to have this happening or come into my energy alignment in the external world? Now, the thing is that we can consciously talk about that and say, yeah, I can create or have this external world showing me this thing that I think I'm thinking and feeling inside in the external world. But the thing is, remember, only 5% of what we're conscious of within ourselves we are aware of. There's 95% of what's going on within us that we don't know about. So this is why I think this concept kind of really hasn't been adopted a lot by many people, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because we think, I'm putting all the right things out there. I'm thinking good thoughts or feeling good feelings, and I'm manifesting and trying to get everything organized as much as I can, but it's not happening. And it's because only 5% of what you know of what's going on within you is conscious. There's 95% of what's going on within you that is unconscious. And this is where it's hard, because you think to yourself, well, how can I find out what that 95% that's going on within me, how can I find out what that is and how that's showing up in my external world? And that's exactly what you need to do, is you can use the external world to show you what that 95% is. And so this is where, say, for example, I was shown, money issues are such a hard thing to get through. And it's a journey for everyone, I think, just to learn so much more about yourself and what's going on within you, because there's so much programming, subconscious programming. When I say subconscious programming, it just means that our brain records, our subconscious just records what we see, what we hear, what we experience. And if you see, hear, or experience anything in your life which brings up anything around lack, not enough, survival, anything like that, you will start to see that in your external world. And it means that you have as many positive affirmations and say as many positive things and put as many positive things up around you. But if you have something going on within you, which is this subconscious recording of lack, subconscious recording of, not enough, which, I don't know, a lot of people are brought up with, unless you're brought up in a different family. but that's not been a lot of people's experiences. And so even then, if someone has been brought up in a world where they have had the things that they want, then they could bring guilt around it. So it's interesting. Or even, privilege or anything around that. And you just don't know what that creates so within you. So this is where it's really important that you deal with the 95% subconscious when you're doing this work, if you want to call it that. And Love for Humanity is all about doing the work within to then see the external world change. And I guarantee you 100% when you do the work within, you will see the external world change. It just happens. It is universal law. They always say the world is a mirror of us. And this is where the concept of Love for Humanity came from, was that if all of us just did the inner work and, you can call it self-discovery, because there's 95% of what's going on in your head that you don't know anything about. If we could use this external world to show us what's going on within us, then we can definitely find out more about what's going on in our subconscious and what we have recorded, to be able to then change this external reality. If everyone in the world did this, what happens is that if anything happens, there's no blame, there's no judgment, there's no anything, because we use these things to find out where that exists within us, and then we make those changes. And we can consciously make those changes, and I'll give you some examples. We can consciously make those changes and definitely start to, I don't like using the word have more control in our lives, because it is good also to let go and surrender and see where life takes you. But if there's something in your world that you want to change and that you really want to see as a creator and manifester of your own life, use the inside out theory. It's such an amazing concept. As I said earlier in the call, when I used this around some really tricky money patterns that I saw, and I got the message to use the inside out theory as a way of dealing with, hi Karen, good morning, on Facebook. And then so once we actually saw, once I received that message that I just have to go within and find where this internal matches to the external reality that was happening, I just felt instant relief, because I'm like, oh my God, I can do something about it. And most of the time we just have no idea what it is that we can do about situations or things. If you have that thought or feeling, use the inside out theory. It's super cool. And as I said, you instantly feel relief and relaxed knowing, oh my God, it's totally up to me. And it's from a different concept. It's not from I'm responsible or I'm to blame. It's actually saying, I affect the world. And if you think about the simple concept of when you walk into, or when you're in a room and someone who walks into the room that might be annoyed or angry or frustrated or even sad, people pick that up, and that's energy. I mean, that's simple. It's a real simple, basic example of how what's going on within someone you can pick it up without even looking at them. That's just how our energy affects the external world, and we affect each other. So doesn't that tell you then that if we can affect each other, then we can do that through using the inside out theory? Because when we are dealing with our inner world, then our inner world is affecting others. And touch wood, I've seen too many examples for myself and for clients that when we are triggered by people, when people treat us certain ways, when people say things, do things, situations, all that sort of thing, when we always go within rather than blame or judge or say, whatever, it is true, Karen. And I'd love if anyone on Facebook's there, if you want to give us some examples of this, that would be great, and I can share the examples. Or if you've got any questions, just give me a yell and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But definitely this whole concept of inside out, as soon as you have the awareness that whatever's going on in the external world that you don't like or you want to change, that it's all up to you, it's an immediate sense of relief. You're so happy because you can do something about it. And this is where we change from powerless or helpless or hopeless into empowered, or I can do something. And even as you change that energy, you can already see, as soon as you change that energy from the awareness that you can do something, automatically you're already having an effect on this external world. It's that I can't do anything about it, I'm stuck or whatever, which then creates more of that in the external world. And I urge you to practice this. The other thing I need to tell you about is we have this system within us, and it is not a spiritual concept or anything like that. It's just a reticular activating system. It's called the RAS, that's in your mind, that when there are things you need to know, they will pop up in your awareness. They will pop up in your external world when there's things that you need to know. And again, if there are things that you need to know about yourself, I mean, gosh, we're not on this planet to just have fun. We're here to learn and to grow. And if there's something for us to learn and to grow, then they will show up in our external world. And the great thing is that all we need to do is go within and deal with them within ourselves, to then watch this external reality change. And it's actually a really fun exercise. Call it an experiment. You are your own case study. It's so much fun to say, okay, I can see this in my external world. Now, of course, at first, it feels like crap. And at first, it's just a really, really bad situation. Now, the thing is, I want to show you the reason why it is so bad is because the thing that makes it so bad is your feelings. Your feelings are the thing that will say, hello, it's time to wake up. So if there's something happening in your external world, a situation, people, whatever, literally look into, and this is the first step, look into the fact that it's creating a feeling in you. And usually that feeling will not be a nice feeling. So when you then have the awareness that that's not a nice feeling, that not nice feeling is the alarm bell that's in you to say, wake up, there's something you need to know on your pathway. And this external thing in your world is actually showing you something about yourself. Now, sometimes it's a direct mirror. So the thing that the people or the thing that people are saying or the things they're doing or whatever will be a direct link. But sometimes they are not that easy. And that's where it takes a little bit of investigation to find out what's going on in this external world to then be reacting and how I'm affecting that from the internal world. Now, I just want you to again see from the bigger picture that if everyone did this work, and I don't know, like I'm excited about the fact that we can do something about everything. And I think I'd love for everyone to be able to have that awareness that, if anything shows up in your world, you can do something about all of it, and it's super exciting. So already you're carrying that concept and that excitement around with you, that whenever anything turns up that feels bad, wrong, or whatever, whenever we're triggered, we can get excited around the trigger because it's like, oh, okay, I know this reality. And sometimes the realities seem super hard to get through. And so when we look at this reality and then we can see that that reality is occurring, we literally have to say to ourselves, okay, that thing that's happening, what feeling is that bringing up in me? And then when you actually look at the feeling that that thing's bringing up, you then tune into the feeling, process the feeling, because your body is designed to process all feelings. And if everyone just sat with their feelings and breathed through them and allowed them to just flow through their body, you will find, and it doesn't matter what feeling it is, from the deepest grief through to any pain that happens within, if you allow it to process and allow yourself to be in it, it naturally just dissipates and gets processed by your body. Now, once that happens, you come back to that neutrality, which is that inner peace. inner peace, inner love, inner joy. And you do always come back to that when you allow yourself to process feelings. Then what happens is you can ask the feeling, whatever feeling it was, what were you here to show me? And you can either say, what are you here to show me? Or what are you here to show me about myself? And you will receive a thought, another feeling, or whatever else that will actually show you exactly what this external thing is showing you about yourself. And that's how you get access to your subconscious and also your soul wisdom. Your soul is the thing that'll come up and tell you what that link is. And you can continue that process with everything that triggers you, from money, business, relationships, parenting, friendships, anything that's happening in this external world, any situation, any person, even the news, Facebook, anything that affects you is an opportunity for you to look at, how can I change this external world? If you want to change this external world, go within. If you want to change the external world, go within. And if everyone on the planet did that, do you think the world would look a little bit different? Because we're not projecting, and this is what happens when we don't use this concept, is if we're feeling angry, or we're feeling frustrated, or we're feeling annoyed, or we're feeling sad, or whatever, we don't know what to do with it. And again, this external reality seems, because of third dimensional realities, it seems super real. It seems that I can't do anything about that. And then what happens, that thought will come up and you will see more more thoughts of that in your external world. You'll see more experiences of that in your external world, and it'll be different for everyone. So it's really important just to tune into yourself when you see anything that triggers an emotion or a thought. Because, say for example, and this is where I really want to be honest here, because this work is really important, but even bullying, I think we need to look at the fact that the way we're dealing with bullying in the world, and I'm not talking about just bullying for children and in the workplace, but in relationships, all that sort of thing. If we can look at what people are saying about us. Now, this sounds weird, but hang on, because it's a new concept and something that we probably wouldn't consider to be true before. But I urge you to have a listen. If someone is saying something about you and you have a physical reaction to it, I have to say to you that means something within you believes it to be true. And usually that part of you that believes it to be true is your inner voice in the subconscious. So you'll find, and especially when you use these feelings to go down the rabbit hole of what it's telling you from your subconscious mind, you breathe into them, you allow them to tell you, you will come to the realization as to what those inner voices are saying. And so please, if I can urge you again, all you can do is try it, especially if there are people who are dealing with other people who aren't doing or saying very nice things in your external world. I urge you to go within and say, okay, what feelings are they bringing up for me? Process the feelings, but also go into what thoughts are coming up for you about that. And it's always good to write things down, because when you do that, you get a little bit more of distance from what's going on. If you get it out of your head, out of your inner self into an external concept, which is a piece of paper, you get to write it down. You get that little bit of space and you can observe the thing that's coming through to be able to help you to process more information and to process more concepts that are going on within you. And the thing is that you keep going down the rabbit hole of awarenesses, realizations, aha moments, as you keep going on within and tuning within and looking at what's going on. And eventually, when you get to the place of neutrality, you'll see the direct link to what's going on external to you. And then you can choose to then say, well, that's not something that I'm going to be saying to myself anymore. I'm going to be aware of that thought that I have about myself, and that it's an energetic match to this external world. Once you start to change those inner thoughts about yourself, and what this external world is bringing up for you, what you'll start to see is you won't see that happening in your external world anymore. So again, the whole concept for love for humanity is this is the base concept of this, is that if we want to see a better world, and they always say, I think it was Mother Teresa or Gandhi or someone, whatever you want to see in the external world, go within, deal with yourself, bring it into your own world, and then you watch the external world start to change. And I have had so many experiences, my clients have had so many experiences of instant change in your life through the inside out theory. And at first it triggers us a little bit because, you can go into the concept of it's my fault or I'm to blame or whatever, but that then creates, and if you even go down that track, that's actually saying that that's in the subconscious, and that you can be blaming yourself and you can be making yourself responsible. And maybe this is where that needs to change, because blaming yourself doesn't get you anywhere. Making yourself responsible for things doesn't help you, because you need to then look at where you can start to tune into your own inner power and your own inner wisdom to find out the truth and to be able to live that truth. And again, the concept for love for humanity is that when we work on ourselves and make ourselves the priority in humanity's peace, love, and joy, what we'll start to see is, through the inside out theory, we will start to see more peace, love, and joy in the world when we make that a priority for us. So this is where this external world is extremely important for you to then know what's going on within you that you don't know about, and for you to then find out what that is from these external experiences. And as I said, like if there's something going on in your world right now, whether it's a circumstance, other people, experiences, patterns particularly, anything like that, parenting, business, especially entrepreneurship is actually the biggest trigger of anything. It'll actually, this inside out theory will actually help you, and you can use it as one of the major contributors to evolutionary growth, your own evolutionary growth, because how can you work on something if you don't know what it is? Use this external world to be able to help you to work on yourself, to help you to deal with what you need to do. But also, your soul and you are here for a reason, and that is to grow and to evolve. And so this is exactly, again, what we do in Love for Humanity. Is it's all about learning how to do this and how to live this internal, external world, and how to become empowered to be able to deal with what's going on in this external world. And then when you know, and you can be aware that this external world is showing me something about myself, you just have to go within, as I said, process the feelings, ask the questions to yourself, and they will automatically come out. So I urge everyone, I've got amazing experiences, and I will share them as we go along. Again, a big part of Love for Humanity's work is sharing stories, because through stories and experiences, we also help each other to grow and to learn as well. So it's actually so fun. And I don't know about you guys, it's actually so much fun to do it together. And this is where we have lots of opportunities for you guys. If you want to learn how to do this work a little bit more and work with me on it, you can join our protege membership. It's only $29 a month, and you can have a call with me every week in our group, and we can do this work, and you can find out, okay, this situation's happening in the external world. What can I do about that? I don't have the conscious awareness, and I don't know how to deal with it. And doing that in our protege group is an important part of that work, and to slowly, week by week, unpack all the stuff. What am I seeing in the external world? What am I experiencing? What are people saying? What are they doing? And start to look at that internal match of what's going on inside of you in the external world, and you unpack it. And the more you unpack, the clearer you are inside. Now, you don't even know how amazing that is from a biological concept. This is a great book if you want to know Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. He talks all about how what's going on within you is actually can again affect. Now we can say this external world, your body is the external world. There's so much that we can learn from all of the inside out theory. And so if you're ready to learn and you want to learn more about this and you want to incorporate the inside out theory in your everyday life, I have to say it's such a beautiful it's just such a beautiful experience to be able to know that you have an impact on everything. And I'm talking about the world. You have an impact in the world. So if you want to do this work every week in the group, message me and we'll pop you in. You've got a couple of choices of actually doing work with other people on this concept, on these theories and how you can do it. And then if you want to teach it and if you want to use it in your own business, there is a professional membership for Love for Humanity. And so we want to start to see everyone becoming more aware of what's going on within them, using this external world to be able to empower us. It's not like whatever you're seeing in the external world is showing you something about yourself, and it's also showing you something about your pathway. And if you want to know what your pathway is and how to follow that, use the inside out theory, because it's here to show you this external world, this internal world. It's all this beautiful kaleidoscope of experiences that we can all learn and grow from. And I urge everyone who's listening to this, if you can try and start to incorporate this into your everyday, then you will start to see massive changes in lots of different areas once you have the realizations of what's actually going on within you that is affecting this external world. Just like if someone who's negative or sad or whatever walked into the room and they affect everyone in the room, you affect everyone by having this inner peace that comes through when you do the inside out work. And if you want to see more peace, love and joy in the world, do this work, because this is exactly how we are going to be doing it. And this is all guided through the universe. All this information that I share is all coming through for us for our next steps for humanity, and it's extremely exciting. So I'll share with you the steps again. And if you want to start to incorporate in your life, start doing it now using your thoughts and feelings and using the external world. And then if you want to do further work, just message me and I will help you out with that. So the first step is the feeling. If you have a feeling about something and it's anger, frustration, or what have you, it's saying wake up. Any bad feeling is saying wake up. So all you then need to do is allow the feeling to process by breathing into the feeling, and you close your eyes, you breathe in and allow the body to process the feeling. And once the body's processed the feeling, you then ask yourself, what is that feeling trying to show me? And it will then show you what this external link is to your internal world. And then you can decide to change the internal world. And it is through that decision. Now, it might not necessarily happen that quickly. You might just need to have the awareness. So then you might notice the next time you judge someone, or the next time that you judge yourself or blame yourself or get angry at yourself. And then you wonder why people are getting judgy or blaming or angry at you from the external. You then keep looking and saying, okay, that person's really annoyed or angry at me. Where am I annoyed or angry at myself? And keep going on in that way. And you start to have more and more and more of those awarenesses for you to then know when that behavior or those thoughts or feelings come up, because it's in your conscious world now. It's no longer in your subconscious, it's in the conscious world. And then you can start to use external people to show you what's going on within you, and you can start to be more aware of yourself. And it's this awareness, this self-awareness, that once we can start to really nail it and start to be super aware of what's going on in our internal and external world, we'll start to find that we have control over everything. I don't like using the word control, but the control is the result, not the reason. And I love saying that kind of theory, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what happens. So if you want to start to see different things happening in your life, if you want to stop patterns, move out of stuck or lack or anything like that, but also if you want to see the world to be a different place, do the inside out work, because you will start to find this external world that you're seeing will change dramatically. So thanks for joining me today. Every week, these calls will occur if you want to join these calls, and if you want to ask questions and interact in these calls, you can join our free membership, which the link is below. And if you want to come and do the work, you can just message and I'll send you through the information. Thanks everyone for joining. Please start using this. This is how we're going to change the world. And it's very simple because it starts with you. Love you. Bye.